everybody. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Father's Day. Thank you to everyone who's saying Happy Father's Day already. You beat me to it. A lot of area dads out there deserving some cred today. So happy Father's Day to all the Northwest Indiana dads out there making things happen. In our household, we had a wonderful Father's Day. It was great. It really was. The kids make stuff in school, that they have to hide in the house until, now because school's been out for a couple weeks. And so I got some really cute things from the kids that they drew and stuff that my daughter wrote that we do together it was just really nice. It's a really nice day. It was nice and relaxing for us. So I hope you guys had a wonderful day. For the not dads out there, hope you had a great weekend. Summer's here. Holy moly, right? The dew point's up near 70. We had highs near 90 today. Even had some rumbles of thunder at times. We're going to talk about all that. So in the forecast here, I want to focus on heat. Obviously, we have heat around. Okay, it's summertime. I'm not going to make a huge deal about it, but I do want to make sure that you guys are being careful and just kind of planning ahead for, if you have outdoor activities, if you have to be outside, don't just think it's a normal day when it's hot. The problem with heat is that heat is the number one killer. Not floods, not tornadoes, not all the severe weather that you see and destruction, right? It's not that. It's heat. And it's not a very sexy thing to talk about because it's just a temperature. But we need to take heat just as seriously as we do severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings. All right. I know that sounds silly, but literally it can cause some big time problems in a hurry if you're not prepared. So just make sure you're staying hydrated. Go grab some water right now. Your body needs water like crazy. And now's the time to do it. Okay. All right. So let's dive in. I want to talk about how long this heat lasts. We're going to show you a new product from the Weather Service you're probably seeing on social called the Heat Risk Map, which is super cool. I think it's great. I think the colors might be a little overdone. A lot of people kind of hyping the colors up. So we'll talk about that. I mean, we're going to keep it real as always around here. And then we'll go long term. I want to go over the next 10 to 15 days. We'll take a look at how long this warmth lasts. And we'll go from there. Okay, we'll answer your questions after that. Let me quickly get through our wonderful sponsors. They're all local to Northwest Indiana, which is awesome. We'll start just right above me there. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've got new Jeeps out on the lot, ready to go. They have been hot selling the last couple of weeks, they tell me. I think a lot of people want the doors off and the windows off and everything else off except for the tires and the engine. That's what Jeeps are just amazing. They're like Legos for adults. But anyway, they've got all sorts of Jeeps ready to go there. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. Tiger Plumbing up above that. They're our favorite plumbers here in Northwest Indiana. I'm repping their shirt here tonight. Guys, they come out for free to check the problem, which is amazing to me. Most plumbers don't. They'll charge you like $60 to $90 trip fee just to send someone out because they got to pay for their gas, right, and their hourly rate. They don't do that at Tiger Plumbing. It's tigerplumbing.net. You can schedule on your mobile. You can see who's coming on there. It's just amazing. And right now they're offering $30 off a service call. So if you have something, water not going where it should, outdoor, I always think the outdoor spigots, because ours is leaking, need to have Tiger Plumbing out. Either way, they'll come out right now. They'll take $30 off. Mention Region Weather when you do, though. Okay, that way you get $30 off whatever job they have to do. It's awesome. Tigerplumbing.net. Above that, that's our most popular sponsor of the week. A lot of you have asked me about them over the last 2 weeks in terms of how do I get scheduled, stuff like that. Ewing Mechanical Services. Guys, if you need anything done with your AC, all right, they're slammed this week, but they'll make some time for you. At least they told me they're going to try to. It's Ewing MEC.com. They have tune-ups right now. If your AC just needs tuned up, washed up, more coolant added, whatever it happens to be, $69 for that. If you need a new system, it's not going to break the bank, all right? They've got new systems that are affordable, that are great, that are 5-star rated, and they have 0% financing, I believe, for 60 months right now, which is same as cash for years, all right, which is great. So that'll save your wallet. But if you guys need anything done AC-related, EwingMECH.com. Couple more here. PSA, that's our public service adjusters. They're amazing. Guys, if you have an insurance claim on your property that you don't want to deal with your insurance company, go to publicserviceadjusting.com. What they will do is they'll be the go-between between you and your insurance company. They'll get you more money than you absolutely could get by yourself with your insurance. And they'll handle everything. More importantly, it's publicserviceadjusting.com. Minogue.life is the website to go to, navigating the world of healthcare and Medicaid and insurance, life insurance, all that good stuff, Medicare Supplement Advantage. All of that gets messy. There's so many new rules every single year. There's new laws that go into effect. Do I need life insurance at a certain age? All these are questions that Michael Minogue has been working on for years. He's an expert in that category. He's been serving Northwest Indiana residents around those topics for decades now. So please, if you have any questions around that, don't search Google. Go to Minogue.life to set up your free consultation. He'll guide you through it. He's a super friendly guy. Minogue.life is a place to go for that. Last but not least, FBI buildings. Guys, if you have a pole barn, maybe someone else built it, it's falling apart, or some kind of barn on your property that needs fixed, they'll come out and fix it, which is great. They'll handle other people's works. They'll renovate, renew, restore, or just build you a new pole barn, whether it happens to be commercial, residential. They've done over 20,000 of them so far all across the region. They're very popular. It's FBIbuildings.com for any pole barn repair that you might need. Okay. We love them. So there's that. Okay. So, we're hearing static again. Fantastic. All right. Well, let's just take this thing out. There we go. My kids tend to mess with my things at my desk, so I think they're messing with my microphone. Can you guys hear me okay now? That's what I don't like at all, is bad video quality and microphone quality. All right. Just like that, it's gone. Linda, there you go. All right. Before we get to the weather, I want to say hi to our early birds here. Mark was first to join us tonight. Hi, Mark. Don Z, thanks for joining us on YouTube. Certainly appreciate you. Mary, thank you very much. Linda, thank you for the happy Father's Day there. Angel, good evening to you. Ethan's with us. Jill's with us as well. Susan, thank you very much. Reedmo, thank you as well. And then I'll leave this with Angel's comment here. It's hotsy-totsy out there today. Yeah, and Tom says the rain disappeared before it ruined Father's Day celebration in Munster. A few of you got downpours out of this, but not everyone did. So let's dive into the forecast here, guys. You waited long enough. So here's our little cluster of storms. Look at this thing that developed. This developed, it was a little instability boundary out in the plains. It swirled its whole way in our direction. It's like a little mini feature. It had like a low pressure, a little cold front with it, but it was packing a punch, a little vortmax or a little area vorticity in the atmosphere, just kind of roaming the plains, and it was tapping into that heat and humidity out ahead of it. As it went through here, though, we had some gusty winds in spots. A lot of it kind of fell apart as it moved in, thank goodness, right? And we had a couple downpours out of it, especially out in LaPorte County as this thing was clearing. But it's now long gone. It's now out towards South Bend. It's up into southwest lower Michigan. And we're done here tonight in terms of the rainfall. There's just a few sprinkles left to the south towards the north. We will keep an eye on. There's it kind of goes down to the south. There's still some instability, obviously, outside. It's hot and it's humid. So we'll keep an eye. There may be a few pops an hour or two from now. I'm seeing there's another little area of energy. Hot, humid is what we're dealing with. Here's the forecast as we go through the near term. It's going to remain hot and humid. We'll talk heat in a second, but we'll get you through the rainfall part first. We have a chance of storms tomorrow, all right? These are going to be, the chances aren't real great, but they're going to be pop-ups, all right, in our heat and humidity that we have out there. I mean, it's just super thick, and it's going to be that way tomorrow as well. We stand the chance of some pop-ups, and it comes from just kind of, as this ridge gets established, there are some weakened areas in the ridge that are allowing for some air to lift, all right? Most of it is capped. Most of it is just hot air that's rising, and it's a strong enough ridge that's suppressing any storms from forming. But you look what happens tomorrow. This is tomorrow afternoon. You can see how the majority of it is south and east of us, but can't rule out just a stray downpour or so. It'd be moving in from the southwest, all right? That's kind of the trajectory tomorrow. Just isolated tomorrow. That's it. All right, as we go into tomorrow night and Tuesday, more of the same. You can see the HRRR model picking up and perhaps another one of those waves, kind of like we had today. Just a little wave, a little disturbance in the atmosphere rotating through, just kind of creates lift and continues about its way. That's what we're expecting perhaps Monday night into Tuesday. Another little wave that moves through, maybe some rain around. But overall, no big rains here in the forecast. They're going to be scattered, if not isolated, over the next 2 days. And we're talking hot too, okay? All right, so here is the ridge. All right, you're hearing a lot about this. This has certainly been national news. It's going to continue to be national news as we go throughout the week. It's this big dome of heat that's normally out over the desert Southwest. All right, and every year it goes east, and that's how we get our hot days. Okay, it all the time when we get hot in the summertime, it's this ridge. And what we're watching every single year is where this ridge sets up. Normally it's out towards the west. Last couple summers, it's been setting up in the plains, okay, central and southern plains. And we've been getting in on that at times. When we get up to 95, 96, 97 in the summer, that's because we kind of share in that ridge for a little bit before it backs off with some kind of cold front, right? The areas underneath this down in the deep south and the southern plains, they're always under this ridge pretty much, and they don't really get a break. But we get these breaks when these fronts come through. But this ridge is a little bit different than the last couple of summers because it's setting up further out towards the east, which, it just hasn't happened last couple of years. It's been in the plains or out west, all right? And a lot of the last few summers, it's been way out west, right? When they're breaking temperature records like crazy from Seattle down towards, Oregon and Portland. Not the case now, though. They're cool out west. You can see where the dip is. Here's the ridge right here. Where it's darkest red, that's where the heights are highest. That's where you get the core of the real heat. And you can see how we're on the periphery of it. This isn't really centered over us. If it was, we'd probably have temperatures up near 100 this week. But it's not. We're going to be in the low to mid 90s this week. But watch how this ridge expands and heads north. And it's all courtesy of this trough out towards the west. This trough out west is creating snow in the northern Rockies. Yes, snow. And they're expecting anywhere from 6 to 12 inches across portions of Montana. They're ready for summer out there, and they're going to have some snow in the higher elevations. It's just incredible. So, when it's that cold out west in spots, and they're dealing with snow, which is not normal in northern Rockies this time of year, that's one extreme. And whenever there's one extreme out west, we tend to get the other extreme with the seesaw. And that's what we're seeing is you get this big dome of heat that really gets going later on this week. And you can see how it's centered over northeastern United States, which includes all the mega metropolises up and down the eastern seaboard. This is a big deal from them. Philly, obviously highest population in the United States, right? Philadelphia, for example, DC, for example, are going to be pushing 100 degrees for multiple days. They'll probably end up around 98, 99. We'll see. But this is a huge deal for the East Coast, especially because it's not that they don't handle well. There's just so many people, and cities don't cool down like the country does, all right? We know that in Chicago. Chicago's warmer than we are here in the region a lot because the city and the pavement and the concrete stores all that heat. So this is going to be a big issue as you get out towards the east. For us, we're still on the periphery of it. So we don't have the core of the warmth over us, but we're still pretty darn warm, right? We've got eyes on the Gulf of Mexico, maybe a system down there, all right? Florida's going to get more rain from this one. This one looks to head into Texas with, last I saw, like 10 to 15 inches of rain potential from that. And then you can see how that ridge starts to, this is Thursday into Friday. It starts to make its way in our direction, but it's starting to also get squashed. And it's getting squashed by this trough off towards the north. And watch how this flips as we go on into the weekend. Still hot, but it starts to break down a little bit, all right? It becomes a little bit less organized. And then you can see on into next week, this is Monday the 24th. This is Tuesday the 25th. You can see how that ridge is now gone. We're still warm, and if not hot, across the country, but this is just typical summertime warmth versus the crazy stuff that we're going to be dealing with this week across the country, all right? So that's what we've got there. In terms of watches and warnings and all that stuff regarding the heat, notice how everything's east of us. This is where the core of the heat is, over Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and then up and down the eastern seaboard, okay? So that's where all the excessive heat watches and heat advisories are out right now. All right, this is a new product to kind of explain the heat, and I want to explain this briefly. This is the National Weather Service has a new product this year. It's called the Heat Risk Map. And if you remember in the wintertime, I would show the impact map with winter storms, which shows, how impactful is it going to be? It basically takes the weather and it puts it into a real life application to, are you going to have to worry about this? Is this going to impact your day or not? Right. And that's what this heat risk map does. And I love it. I love what they put into this. It takes things into consideration. You can actually see it here on the side. I'll read it to you though. It takes into consideration how unusual the heat is for this time of year. All right. So if it's late spring, it takes that into the factor, puts it in the algorithm. It takes in effect the duration of the heat, including both daytime and nighttime temperatures, which makes sense. If you don't get relief at night, it's more strenuous to those that can't cool themselves, and some other things as well. But what I like about it is that it also takes into consideration if we've had heat yet, if we've had a prolonged spell of heat. Later in the summer, we're kind of used to it, right? Our bodies are adjusted, all that good stuff. Right now, we haven't really had a lot of hot weather yet, right? We've had a couple days here and there, but we haven't had a prolonged stretch. And so that's why you'll notice that we are in a code red, basically a 3 out of 4 in terms of the heat impact tomorrow, all right? The colors are kind of extreme, yes, but with heat being such a danger to people who, and most of us live in air conditioning, right? We work at air conditioning places. We have air conditioning at home. So this doesn't impact us when you have air conditioning as it does people that are out in it or people that don't have air conditioning, all right, that can't cool themselves. This heat starts to add up. And so, this is really who that's for, are people that can't cool themselves or don't find a way to do that. And this helps cities plan too around, do they need cooling shelters, stuff like that. So you can see tomorrow we're in the red. Tuesday, we're adding some higher dew point air, so it's going to be even muggier outside. Tuesday is going to be our hot day, so you can see we're in the extreme category for heat risk, right? Take it seriously, especially on tomorrow, but Tuesday as well. Wednesday, it doesn't get much better. Thursday, there's going to be some lake cooling, all right? There's going to be a wind off the lake, and so that's going to cool our lakeshore communities. Inland's still going to be pretty hot, though. And then you can see on it Friday, it gets better. Everything kind of getting squashed to the south. Saturday, it might return real quick. And then by Sunday, that's when a frontal boundary comes in, and we get much better air around here in terms of the heat, okay? So that's kind of what that looks like in terms of the impacts. I do want to put some numbers on it. These are not your dew points. These are your temperatures. You can add a good 7 to 10 degrees to figure out what it's going to feel like in terms of heat index, right? This is what the Euro's putting out, widespread 90s this week. The Euro does get hotter Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. All right. A more realistic temperature trend would be this one. This is the National Blend of Models. This takes a lot of the models that have been behaving well and performing well recently, puts it into kind of an algorithm there. And you can see mid 90s ought to do it this week. Tomorrow's hot with some humidity. Tuesday's hot with more humidity, and then the humidity just continues all the way through Saturday, all right? And then we bring in just kind of a moderate brand of summer. So multiple days in the 90s this week. I don't think we get out of the 90s till Saturday, all right? We'll probably still be in the 90s Saturday, so it'd be Sunday at this point, okay? That's a prolonged stretch of warmth around here. All right, let's talk about rainfall, then I'll answer your questions for you. Hopefully this is helpful. I don't want to spend a ton of time on heat if it's boring or if it's not impactful to, kind of how you're planning your week. So let me know what you think about the heat discussion, because I spent a lot of time on that. If you don't care about heat and you just want the temperatures, let me know too, because I'd be happy to just go through that, okay? In terms of the weather, though, I mentioned tomorrow we've got a couple stray storms around. Okay, just stray tomorrow, but there is a chance for a pop-up storm. Heating of the day ought to do it. Here's that little wave that moves through on Tuesday. We've got another chance of some rain and storms on Tuesday. None of this is going to be an all-day rain. It'd be very brief. Most of the day is dry and hot. That's why that temperature's down a little bit on that Tuesday model. You thought it was 92, but it comes with some humidity. So still a chance of rain on Tuesday. By Wednesday, this heat ridge is starting to trying to break down, but it's not. But it's trying to break down on a cold front that's going to come and kind of get stuck up towards our north. So as a result, on Wednesday, there are going to be some thunderstorms roaming north of us, all right? And kind of like what we saw tonight, there's a chance one could get loose from that main ridge, all right? So we're going to have to keep a real close eye, because Wednesday is going to have there's going to be some decent thunderstorms roaming this ridge, little ridge riders. So we'll have to keep an eye on Wednesday. Thursday, more of the same. Notice how we're still dealing with, remember, we're under that dome of heat, but up north of that dome of heat, you get these big clusters of storms. We'll have to keep an eye on the track of those because it's really close to us. But as of right now, the modeling keeps it north. Friday, it has that ridge kind of breaking down in the northeast. So the whole thing kind of pivots and we're underneath the ridge. So we should be dry then. And then on into the weekend, here you go. This is when the ridge starts to break down. As of right now, Saturday is dry on the Euro. Remember, it keeps us warmer. GFS breaks it down sooner. And then the Euro brings in rain Sunday into Monday, some kind of line of storms, whereas the GFS does that sooner. So terms of the weekend, the upcoming weekend, it's a little too early to call when that ridge breaks down. If it breaks down earlier, then Saturday we would have rain and storms. If it breaks down later, like the Euro's saying, it would be Sunday into Monday. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. And then on in the next week, we bring in an air mass that moves again. So we'll have a front to front to front kind of lining up, and we'll have a pattern that moves again versus this week where we're just kind of stuck in the heat. Okay, so that's that. All right, Angel, you're welcome. I'm glad thanks for the feedback on that. Susan, thank you for the feedback on the heat levels as well. That's great. Katie says, I like this comment. And guys, if you have questions, go ahead and ask for sure. Katie says, Dairy Queen is going to be quite busy this week. A blizzard sounds amazing. It really does, Katie. I'll tell you, I went to the store in advance because, I mean, we're hot. Obviously, it's hot here. And then we've got the kids who like to play outside all the time. So we got, and that's funny. You just said that, Susan. She says, I guess it's sprinkler time. So we got the sprinkler out. I'm a little worried about a drought, so I didn't want to use too much water, but we got the sprinkler out. We got popsicles. And then I also got, and we're trying to be health conscious, but we're not always. I got 4 tubs of ice cream to put in the freezer just in case, and some ice cream cones. And so last night we had some ice cream cones, but you just need to have different flavors. I mean, it's not like we're going to eat all 4 tubs tonight, although they're sounding really good. So anyway, my whole point is, Katie, you got me thinking about ice cream again. So there's that. Yeah, Robin, snow sounds pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, and Robin, the humidity wasn't crazy bad today. We have some dew points that are creeping up right now, but today wasn't a bad day. It's interesting because the humidity's coming in right now. That's kind of what that line of storms did. It's riding on an instability boundary, and so the humidity's working in here as we speak. A lot of you have it already, but there's some spots. It's kind of hodgepodge. Some spots have dew points to 70, some are like 62, which is more comfortable. So really interesting. Maxwell, Maxwell, this little complex that worked through here tonight, it was on the modeling all the way back towards last Thursday. So the models picked up on it. Most of it had it a little bit further north, but it had it brushing, Lake Michigan. And so I wasn't surprised when I saw that. This week will be interesting to see if that ridge breaks down, because sometimes you'll have this big ridge in place, and then you'll get a big complex of storms that sinks further south because it's just stronger and it's cold air driven. And it'll kind of put a kink in that ridge, which can bring storms in our direction, even though they're not supposed to. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. It's a very interesting week to watch. This is by far my favorite pattern as a meteorologist, is the ring of fire pattern. I like it, though, when it's in the plains and we get the storm ring on us. This is kind of different because it's off towards the north. It's not quite as exciting, but we'll see. Joey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Happy Father's Day to you, too, if you're dead. Yeah, and the satellite did look really cool, Maxwell. Yeah, it really did earlier. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. I appreciate you spending time on your summer evening with me. Hopefully this is helpful. We'll continue to keep you updated on the storms. We're on it. I've got radar watch all summer long here. So if anything's threatening, we'll get it out on there for you. All right. That's it. That's all I got for tonight. We're back on the radio side of things. Join us on X-Rock or Indiana 105.5 or even Z107.1. We've got your forecasts all day long, starting in the morning. Also, regionweather.com. You can subscribe to the daily email update, and you'll get one in the morning. I type it up for you. So that's that. Mark, have a great evening. Thank you. Linda, thank you. Susan, I appreciate that for sure. Angel, thanks for joining us. Readmo, you too. You guys all enjoy your evening, okay? Like a little family here. I like it. All right, guys, take care.